Yo, what's up everyone? Culture Shock Sounds here. We're getting ready for the very first behind the scenes episode, the process of editing. We're gonna edit Rebel 6, Biggest Gallus. Hope it goes well tonight. I'm very excited to show everyone the process. There's been a lot of questions. Everyone wants to know what's going down with it. So hopefully we show a little bit of that. We kind of show you guys how you can do it, and we'll dive into it more later. But we're just getting down with these behind the scenes, and we want to show you guys what's up. So let's go get it. Yo, what's up everyone? Culture Shock Sounds here. On the very first editing episode, we picked out Rebel 6, Biggest Gallus. I thought it had a lot of things that I wanted for the very first one. Travis World has not put out an instrumental. We could do delays, stutters, samples, the whole nine. So let's check it out. Yeah, okay, so we all know the track. First things first, we do not have an instrumental. So I use Audacity to make my instrumentals. These are not nice instrumentals. This isn't going to be something that you're going to want to be playing in the club, that you're going to be using, but it works great for edits. So pull up Audacity, go ahead and drop your track in there. Alright, now first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this stereo track and we're going to split it to mono. Alright, so once we have mono, what that allows us to do is kind of mess with this track and start to make this instrumental. So first things first, we want to get our graphic EQ, and I want you guys to match exactly what I got going on right here. I'm sure someone who's better at making instrumentals would say to change this, but this is how I do it. Alright, and then I always do loudness normalization because Audacity just has a tendency to have tracks super loud and they get poppy and weird. So then we also use invert. Invert is exactly why we have this Audacity. I do not have this in Ableton. Audacity is what has it, so we use that. And of course we loudness normalize the other side. I will put a link for Audacity in the info area underneath, because it is a free program and anyone who wants to try it should definitely go check it out. So like I said, it's not that it's the nicest instrumental, but this is what we're left with. Right? Sounds kind of awful. Alright, so now what we're doing essentially is we're going to go through this track and find all of our raw explicit parts. You know, so obviously we're going to go through, we're going to take what we've made of an instrumental and replace the sections that have raw and explicit in them. I always think that this is kind of one of those things that you got to come up with your own way that you want to go after that. Some people just want to listen and use their own ears. Some people want to go straight by lyric videos. For my own workflow, I think it's best to just kind of listen to the song, fly through it, and then double check yourself off of either lyric videos or written lyrics. Written lyrics are great. Lyric videos get kind of hard. Yep, so we'll just keep going through here and obviously replacing little sections. Again, I think it's good to go back and double check yourself. I have not double checked myself a lot of times and I always miss something. So it's best to have a team, someone you can send these tracks to afterwards and talk about what's raw and what's not, because it's not just the word. If it insinuates anything explicit or raw, you need to take those sections out too. This is kind of the big debate constantly with DJs and artists and editors and producers. What is insinuating raw material? So we always try to make straight radio edits, and I'll be the first to say that that can be really hard for certain islands. Jamaica has crazy rules. to what can be said on that radio and not in that island. And then they make like some of the most explicit music on the planet, and you try to combine those two things, and it'll really get you. Trinidad, same way, right? Trinidad is nasty, but the radio stations don't take anything on there that's even kind of raw. So again, you got to try to make it work. You got to get up on your slang, that's for sure. So we're gonna go through the whole track here and take out all the raw sections. I can tell you this section right here is gonna be a beast. Anytime you have raw in the background lyrics or in the delays or effects that are used by the original producer on the song, that is a very hard section to take out without making it sound really weird. Okay, so now that we've gone through and found all of the raw and explicit points in the song, we're just going to try to smooth these sections out. So essentially all we're doing here is taking our fades and smoothing out between the instrumental and the original track. That way it doesn't just clip into nothing. Dancehall has some wild editors out there who just completely cut songs when it goes raw, so it goes just a blank audio. A lot of reversing goes on. Obviously I did that for a long time. You see these guys just cut to these same instrumentals that you can still kind of hear the words back there. So they went through all the work, but we still haven't gotten to the point where we've actually gotten this thing clean yet. Unfortunately, dancehall just puts out so much music so fast, and a lot of it's very raw that I feel like editors have to go to some extreme ideas to try to make it happen, and in order to get that workflow and get you guys all the songs, because people get fired up and want those edits quick, and they don't realize how long this takes. I'd say every track I spend at least 2 to 3 hours on. Some of them take days. You know who you are that send me tracks like that. So we're gonna cruise through. We continue to smooth these out. Sometimes what you run into is you will just run into a section of the instrumental that was made that still has the vocals in it. They just shine through so much. The way that I went about making the instrumental will not really work on vocals that have a lot of reverb on them and a lot of delay. Just doesn't work very well. So what we're gonna find, like this section, you can just hear him still saying fuck off really well. We said this part was gonna be hard. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go this section. We're gonna take 1 bar of music essentially. So you can kind of see we have these 2 sections right here that we can kind of snag, and we're gonna reverse that section. I think it hits a little better with the music if you can snag 1 bar of music or 2 bars of music. I mean, that would suck if you had to go that far, but it does make it sound a little bit better, and then smooth that out. And as we'll hear, it still doesn't sound great, but we can work with it. So it still has kind of weirdness to it. But it's workable. And we're going to make it a little bit better here in just a couple minutes. Alright, so thank you to everyone who has made it this far. We've done most of the basic things, most of the things that you see from a lot of other editors. Now we're going to get into some of the more complicated stuff. Not that other editors don't do this, because a lot of them still do. You just got to search them out. So first things first, I wanted to do this the same way that everyone can do it on almost any computer. So go ahead and grab yourself like an EQ3, something you can take out your low end, just like on your turntables. Go grab yourself a ping pong delay. Let's go ahead and turn down that feedback 15 to 20%, and let's punch up that overdrive, and we'll just really get that sucker so it's pinging all over the place for what you want to hear it for. I like 3 bars. You can do it for whatever you want. Let's do a reverb next. Our actual reverb time, I like to punch up to about 7 seconds most of the time, and my full effect I always have down around 1/4. So around 25%. So I think it's important to do things the same way every time. That's how you get a sound for yourself. So find how you like it and keep doing it that way. Last, put your compressor on there. Always put your compressor on these channels and then side chain it. If you don't know about side chaining, go watch a video. Side chain that to your original track. That's what makes these vocals and stutters and delays come in nice on the backside, and I don't have to spend all day long trying to make them sound amazing. If you do not know about side chaining, find out about side chaining, because side chaining is amazing. So we are going to have 2 layers or 2 rows of effects essentially that we're going to have in here. I always like to label one long and one short. The main difference between those two is that in my long rack or track there, the ping pong delay and the amount of reverb time are going to both be significantly longer than they're going to be in the short one. And I use these for 2 different reasons here. This is how I like to do things. You're welcome to do them this way, otherwise find your own damn way. Alright, so let's jump into this. I want to show y'all the 2 ways I like to use these. Oh, we're starting off the age of Chelsea. I like it. Alright, so Chelsea, right? Great one to start this whole thing off. Let's grab enough of this sample and we'll go ahead and place it here. Just like my DJs do, we're just going to put it right on beat here. You can kind of see where it still is in the instrumental. Boom, drop that sucker in there. Stretch it out a little bit, see where it matches. If you pull it long enough, you'll always be able to match it. Alright, just what we want here, and get those fades right. And let's have a listen and see if we got in the right spot. Hey, that sounds pretty good right there, huh? Alright, so now let's drop the decibels of it. -2 always makes it a little smoother. Nice. Alright, so that smooths it out real nice. We dropped those decibels a little bit. We still got a little bit where it's a little weird right at the beginning of it. So let's maybe throw it in one more time here. We'll drop this decibel down to a -4. And this is just going to give us a little bit more of a build up to it. Alright, close. Alright, so a little bit farther to take that F out. E. One more. Hey, that's nice right there. Alright. So, good first stutter right here. Let's go to the next one. Alright, so kind of, that one's still shining through pretty good. Alright, and then we got Dem coming up next. Dem is a nice one. That D and the whole 9, like it does a really nice stutter. So let's pull that out. We'll do a triple right here, our double stutter. Let's make sure they match up real nice. Our fades right. Pull that kick out the back. One more of those. Get it matched up again. Right, and then again, because we got 2 of them, we're going to go the first one. Do -4 decibels on it. Second one, -2. It kind of gives it a little bit of a build up to the whole thing. So. Hey, that's pretty nice right there, huh? Alright, see how that covers that real well, too. We didn't even have to reverse it or anything like that. Alright, so we dropped that down just a little bit, just to cover it a little bit more. But our next thing we're going to do is we're going to take what was right before our stutter, right before the explicit that we took out with that instrumental. We're going to drop that down to our long track there, essentially, and we're going to put a long delay on it, and we're going to drop it down to like -8. Alright, so what that does is it smooths it out. It's very subtle, but it allows that little bit of area that we want to still get covered. It still sounds good. Yeah, see, so that just makes it just a little bit smoother rolling into that stutter. A little bit of a delay on it. Makes it sound real nice. All right, so last time on our we did a stutter into it. It's a different word after, but let's see what we can do with that. This is important because it's in the chorus. This is the part everyone's gonna be singing. So you gotta get these parts right. Yeah, see how you stretch that out? See, you can see that just like my DJs when you guys are matching stuff up. You guys could be doing this. Said you guys are harshing me out for not getting you more edits. No, I'm just playing. I love my DJs. Y'all keep me honest. Just don't realize I don't have a filter. Alright, so yeah. See how that sounds. Woo! There's another one. Alright, so we're stuttering ourself away right here. That's very good. Again, let's drop that decibel of it. Put two of them. Oh, okay. So let's go ahead and spruce this up. Yeah. Alright, so we went ahead and took that same stutter and we moved it onto our long track there. So it just gives it a little more body. Ooh. A little bit more body on it, you know, but you just got to get it matched up in the right spot because depending on what your ping pong delay is and how long that delay is on that, it just depends on where you put it. So. Alright, let's pull these, match them up. It's kind of hard to see, but you can just barely see the black. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Damn, take the time, you know? Make them nice. People appreciate it. Bigger the name artist is the more they're going to appreciate you putting that time in. I don't say I get all the views, I get the best views. Your favorite DJ. You be checking my shit out. Yee. Alright, so the last thing we got here is just kind of the end of this chorus, and I already know I want to use a sample on it, but let's check it out. Alright, so we'll be using that, one of my mini gunshot samples on here. And samples is the next thing we're about to do. Yeah, so I know we got at least one sample we want to use. I always think it's good to go back through the track and just see if there's any other spots you can kind of spruce up. You don't want to overdo it, but... Multiply the amount of text me can reply, you know. Girl, I see me and cry, you know. Them see them dream come. For the bump man. Better say love. Alright, so let's go grab out a gun sample. And the one thing I'll definitely say is, you know, samples hit a lot differently on different songs. So it's good to have as many different samples as you can get your hands on. So I send them out monthly and the whole thing. Yeah, it's just one of those things. The more you have is the more you can do with them. You can change them up in the whole nine. But we're going to double these up just like we had to the vocals before. Do one on the long and one on the short. Better say love, man, yeah. So much man I like this. Better say love, man, yeah. So much. Alright, so that sounds pretty good, but it's not like super full. You know, we could double it up again and get like a really full sound. So there's definitely ways you can go about it if you just have to have that one gunshot sound to it. Better say love, man, yeah. Better say love, man, yeah. So much man I like the SIXX dog, me not care. As me reach a dance, a girl I disappear. Pick her up, better say love, man, yeah. So much man I like the SIXX dog, me not care. As me reach a... So, let's try a different sample. I actually don't really like that one. I don't think it really covers it a whole heap. So let's grab a different one I got here. A little bit bigger blast to it, a little bit bigger boom to it. Ooh. I like that. So again, it's just about that placement when you got one on the long and one on the short here. Nice full sound. Yeah, it kind of helps cover everything we want covered in that, you know? We knew we wanted that one. And we know we have this in several spots in the song. So once we like that gunshot, you know, we just gotta remember where we drop it, get it right where we want it. Gunshot's not quite as exact as vocals when you're doing like a stutter. But got one more spot in the song for it. Line them up. Nice. Alright, so we got our chorus spots covered that we want to, but I think there's a couple more spots in this track that could use samples. Alright, let's see what else we got going in here. Yes, this is going to be a good one. I love my water drop sample. So let's see exactly what we got going on here. Let's drop in that water drop. If y'all don't have this sample, you're going to want it. Which I'm pretty sure I gave it to everyone. So let's spruce this guy up a little bit. We already got a pretty decent stutter going into it. But we can still spruce it up a little bit with some extra water drops, and we'll go between our two different shorts on this one. So we'll add one more short rack here. So regular rack, I guess, or we just take out that bottom line with that EQ3, throw in some ping pong just so we can spruce it up a little bit more. Don't always have to just do 2 layers or 3. Sometimes you need a lot of them. Depends on how crazy the track gets, or what you're trying to do. Ooh. Let's get a couple more in there. Yeah, let's take that. We're starting to get there. Sometimes you just gotta play with samples. One's off a little bit. Yeah, right there. Starting to sound it. Let's do one more. Let's take one more of these. Copy and paste. See how that sounds. Alright. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Alright, so all that's left now is let's give a final listen through our track and see how it sounds.
Biggest girls not the land. No touch. So we take them, girl, and we laugh. So we take them, girl, and we laugh. Hey, all the sex to marry, GYALLIS. No bull, every girl love way. Yeah, me a man, you fan my G, but from what they miss at Chelsea calculator, care at the top. Multiply the amount of text me can reply, you know. Girl, I see me and cry, you know. Them see them dream come true. Biggest GYALLIS not the world. Me not run down girl, I mean name she walk. Me important man, girl I whine for the bum tom man. They say you love bad man. Biggest GYALLIS not the world. Me not run down girl, me name she walk. Me important man, girl I whine for the bum tom man. Better say you love man, yeah. So much man I like the SIXX dog, me not care. As me reach a dance, a girl I disappear. Pick her up in the van, she no miss a gear. Wait when time me whisper, yeah. Me not act a roll when time me see the girl. Slug a 6 in the back, lone criminal. You and your friend get fucked up off cash as a 6. Yes, GYALLIS not the world. Me not run down girl, I mean name she walk. Me important man, girl I whine for the bum tom man. They say you love bad man, biggest GYALLIS not the world. Me not run down girl, me name she walk. Me important man, girl I whine for the bum tom man. better say love, man. Yeah, no girl not replaceable. So easy me replace a girl. Might be a best friend to how we run the world. Fun not feelings, my girl. Take a pic with the six. Your love is baby girl, we got some for you, You dig no one? You know why? Biggest girl is not the world. Me not run down girl. I mean name she work. Me important man. Girl I whine for the pump them man. They say love bad man. Biggest girl is not the world. Me not run down girl. Me name she work. Me important man. Girl I whine for the pump them man. Better say love man. All the sex to my regardless. No bull every girl love way. As me reach out and say girl I disappear. Pick her up in the van, she no miss a gear. Biggest girl is not the land. Biggest girl is not the land.